I wanted to ask, what's your favorite dish to eat?
A favorite dish to eat? Oh my God, that's a very tough question, Karan, because like I said, I've really been very fortunate to live in places with great food, to live in a family that I would say like a good homemade, mutton curry or a chicken curry which is made at home, which has that nice flavors. I like that.
The chef or entrepreneur you deeply admire?
A chef or entrepreneur I deeply admire. Sorry. I currently have to say what I see Mr. Chef Vikas Khanna doing. Right. His story is so inspiring. The accolades he's achieved and the hardships he has faced, but also the grace which he portrays and how down to earth he is, and how I just like what he's doing. I just really like the vibe.
His journey and
so
inspiring that.
Absolutely.
If you could have dinner with any three people, living or past, so who would they be and why?
Oh boy. It's a tough one.
Like chef been experiencing, something related to that.
Okay, number one would have to be my grandfather, Colonel B.R. Mohan, my father's father. I never had a chance to meet him. And I've heard such amazing things about him and what he did. So I think I missed out spending time with him. So if I could be with or dine with someone, I would love to be with him. I don't know who else, really.
Okay. So what's that one book or movie that has really influenced you?
A book or movie that has really influenced me. I read a lot. Honestly, it's a secret passion. I've always been a bookworm. So I'm always reading something or the other. I can tell you recently what I've read, and something that's really made me aware of something that I did not know is William Dalrymple has written a book called The Golden Rule.
Yes.
Right? And this is about how India and Indian culture had an influence all the way from Europe to Southeast Asia. And this is, in the first millennium, the first 1,000 years, where India was a superpower of ideas and knowledge and thought. And I think, we downplay or we've forgotten how great our civilization was. And I think it's time to rediscover that.
Makes sense. Very interesting. So, one personal question again, rapid fire. That what motivates you in your entrepreneur journey? What is it that you are, wishing to achieve? And what is your, the passion which you think is driving you in your journey?
See, for me, it's always been about solving a problem. Right? So I think if you start with that, then you're adding some value, you're doing something useful, and hopefully someone on the other side is going to value that as well and be ready to, pay for it.
Right.
So I think for me, it's always about trying to solve a problem, trying to make something better. That's where I get my inspiration from. Yeah.
So another interesting question I wanted to ask you about the future plans.
Right.
And what are your future plans for Chef Pin, and are there any upcoming features or expansion you would like to share with us?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So business is something you always have to innovate, right, and you have to respond to the market. So I think this year, 2025, one of the key focus areas for us is going to be building more our pop-up calendar.
Right.
We are already getting huge inquiries from places like Jaipur, Chandigarh, Mysore, Cochin, cities we never thought we would be approaching for doing pop-ups, because we do our pop-ups at 5-star hotels. So, with national tie-ups.
Cities approaching.
So these hotel chains in these cities now wanting to do Chef Pin pop-ups, because they've obviously recognized that today, if you want to do a quality pop-up with a specialty chef or a home chef, we are really the platform for it. So pop-ups is something we want to go deeply into. And today we are hitting 50 pop-ups. I'm hoping that we will hit 100 soon. And maybe more in 2025, because the way it's going. Chef Pin experiences I spoke about. I want to build that connection even more, because I think people are looking to meet and looking to interact and looking to experience more things. we want to make memories, and memories around food are always great.
Mm-hmm.
And people who love food are always
Yeah.
great people to hang out with.
Seriously. We enjoy each other's company.
That's
so much.
right. So, loving that part and building out experiences, which we just started. So, we are doing our fourth experience in February, but we want to do at least 1 to 2 every month.
Right.
But over and above that, one of my targets for Chefpin for 2025 is to actually get into the education space.
Is it?
So we have been talking to some partners to see if we can do some accredited programs, especially with Mr. Rocky Mohan attached to it and his encyclopedic knowledge from his multi-award-winning books
Right.
that he can bring on Indian cuisine, which is sadly getting diluted at a lot of places. We want to revive that knowledge, revive that education, and see if we can work with people going through their culinary programs and attach a special module curated by him on cuisines of India.
Yeah, I think if you see the manpower issues that even hotels and restaurants are facing right now.
Yes, so this is
The education is a very important aspect.
so
which
this is
right
to
now
respond to this market of looking for people who really understand our food.
Right. And plus, the hospitality sector is facing a crisis right now, I believe.
You say it.
And kind of, I think focus is not on quality. That is also one aspect which is coming out nowadays. And your, food regulations and all those rules and regulations.
And look at the number of restaurants that are opening.
Yeah,
There's a demand for people.
demand is there, and every restaurant is copying each other's menu. There's all same stuff happening. The focus is just on the creating a good ambience or kind of a vibe.
True.
So the focus is shifting from food, which I think should not be the case.
Well, we will keep continuing focus on
Yeah.
food because that's what we know how to do.
So our industry needs such kind of people, such kind of
Thank you.
apps also. So let's do a rapid fire questions
All right.
now for you.
Okay.
It's,
Sure.
personally knowing you,
Let's do.
So it's fun and a little personal. So I would like to ask, what's your favorite dish to cook or eat?
What's my favorite dish to cook or eat? Honestly, mere ghar mein there are so many people who cook that I don't cook. I have
You have a
I have
luxury.
great family members who cook around me,
Right.
so I enjoy their cooking. But if I have to cook, I'm very good at easy things like eggs. So I can make eggs.
Eggs. So one question I want to ask you: what is the mission and vision behind Chef Pin, and how does it align with your personal values?
Great question. So, if you think about what is the personal values that align with the platform, I think so. As a group, we have always been very careful about quality, and especially when it comes to food. And we hold dear things like authenticity, tradition, uh, and I think that comes through when we talk about Chefpin as a platform because we are working with home chefs, people who have learned these recipes from, say, a grandmother or a mother or somebody in their family and are passing that on. And so it's a great platform because it matches that whole idea of bringing something very authentic to the table that is not mass produced. It is made to order, it can be customized. So I think there is a great match over there when you think about what Chefpin, what we're trying to do through Chefpin.
Interesting. And the other question was, can you share your journey leading up to Chef Pin? How did your background and experiences shape your entrepreneurial spirit, like being an entrepreneur?
Sure. So, Karan, as you might know, my family has been in business. I'm the fourth generation in business in my family. I didn't always have an entrepreneurial start. I was in consulting for about 15 years myself. And I think that taught me a lot in terms of looking at businesses and how they operate at different levels and at different scales. And then married that with my father's great exposure and his reputation in the F&B space. So he has been in this space for 50 years. So using his knowledge, his expertise, and then my exposure and my own experience, I think it was bound to happen. So this is not our first food tech platform, as you just mentioned. We launched India's first luxury subscription digital product called Gourmet Passport. When other people were selling physical cards, we were selling a membership online through our app, and at its peak, we had thousands and thousands of restaurants across India accepting the Gourmet Passport deal. So that was a very satisfying journey.
Yeah, and you could easily get discounts.
Yeah, we launched the idea of the 1+1 deal to the Indian F&B space, especially in the luxury market. There was no hotel that was not partnering with us across the major cities. So after that experience, then we had a very successful collaboration with the Times Group. Then, of course, Gourmet Passport went over to Swiggy with that deal. So we exited Gourmet Passport, and then this was the next baby that we grown from scratch.
Very interesting story. What challenges do you think you faced during the early stages of Chefpin? Startup.
Yeah,
In
absolutely.
the beginning, there were many challenges.
So, all startups are full of challenges. You're also sort of in the startup journey.
Yes.
So I think startups are always full of challenges. So what can I say? There's challenges when it comes to manpower because you're looking for great people to work with. There's challenges, of course, funding because nothing good comes, at a cheap price. So you've got to spend behind the talent you hire and behind the development that you do. I know apps. A lot of people think apps are very easy to create, but a good app takes a lot of effort. And
getting people in the app and making them understand the
absolutely, and I had the added challenge that we were sitting in the middle of COVID, in the middle of lockdown. So very interestingly, I was sitting in Delhi, South Delhi. The app design team was sitting somewhere in Gujarat. The app developers were sitting somewhere in their home in Maharashtra. And
that's when you built the app.
That's how we built the app, and the backend team was sitting in Model Town. So we never met anyone. It was all virtual for almost a year and a half. And so that you can say that's a challenge, but it was just a great experience to build something in that time. And then let's not forget, even our market is very challenging because we have a supply side, which are home chefs, which are 99% ladies who have their primary skill is being a talented cook at home. Technology does not come easy to them.
Yes. They have a big problem with technology. And I think they're now, and I remember we met earlier and you were saying that they prefer WhatsApp for orders and everything.
Exactly. So, their technology was a barrier, and we now have come to understand how to speak with them, how to explain to them how Chefpin will operate and work for them, and what as a platform we can offer. So, that was another challenge we had to overcome.
So, for those who might not be familiar, how would you describe Chefpin and what makes it unique in the culinary space?
So, Chefpin is an app that aggregates home chefs across the country. Like I said, we work with about 5,000 home chefs on the platform. We largely operate in Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore. But that's not to say that we don't have our events that are happening in other cities.
Tier 2 cities also.
Absolutely. We have an app which allows you to discover home chefs online, look at their menus, look at their reviews, look at their price points, and place orders with them. That's one part of it, and we look after the delivery aspect. The second part is we do a lot of pop-ups. So I was sharing with you earlier that we're going to hit a milestone with our 50th pop-up in January this year. So 50 pop-ups means that there have been at least 50 events that we have organized across
promoting these home chefs.
Promoting just these home chefs.
Or housewives, and they have now they have a platform to showcase their potential.
Yep.
And they're interacting with hotel home chefs.
So I can't tell you
learning.
I can't tell you the feedback we have received. one from the home chefs, they're so happy to be recognized and to be given that elevated platform, and the diners to come and feel so happy that they've tasted something that has reminded them of a dish or a taste from their own childhood. So it's a beautiful connection.
It's like stories, you know.
Oh yeah,
You get to hear so many new stories, interesting stories, and how they have come up and face those challenges of being, starting their own business from home, which is a big challenge.
For many of them, absolutely. For many of them, it's the first time they've actually earned their own income independently. So it's a great story. I mean, there's beautiful empowerment that's happening through this. And now we have recently started doing chefing experiences, which are slightly
Exciting thing.
mid to large scale, highly curated dining events, ticketed dining events, where we are finding, karigars or chefs or cooks, you can say, who are specializing in a certain cuisine and bringing like-minded food lovers together to experience that in a place where we talk about food, we talk about the history of the food. So we call it Chef Pin Experiences, Food, Folklore and Fairy Tales. It's conversations around food.
Different market altogether?
Yes, I would say it's a different market. It's a market that's now looking to experience things.
These things.
One of the big changes that's happened, I would say, in the consumption patterns that we've noticed is that people are now really valuing these in real life experiences. And that's what we want to do through the Chef Pin Experiences platform.
What do you think sets Chef Pin apart from other food-related platforms or apps in the market right now?
Oh yeah. No, I think the first thing that sets Chef Pin apart is the fact that we work with home chefs, and we are dedicatedly working with them. So you will not find cloud kitchens or restaurants on the Chef Pin app because there are great other apps that do this. That's not our forte. Our forte is to uncover people who can really put something unique and bring them to the market, give them a digital presence and an online presence. I think that's the first thing that differentiates us. The second thing is, of course, we've spent a lot of time understanding how these home chefs operate. And one of the big things for them is that, they can't present food in 10 or 15, 20 minutes. They will need time.
They take some time, I think. Some of them order, like you have to order one day before. Right?
That's right. So minimum a day before, because they'll actually take your order, they will go to the market, they will shop the ingredients. It's really made for you. So in that way, we are different. And that's also a challenge in today's market where everybody is expecting, the super convenience and instant gratification. But if you want something good, then I think you have to be ready to.
I heard recently you started with the same day delivery thing also.
So yes, so we do. So in responding to that demand, we have something called same day delivery. So it's clearly not instant delivery, but at least it's a move towards that, and to work with those home chefs who can tailor some parts of their menu to offer it as a same day delivery item. Some chefs and some parts of their menu. Yeah.
Would love to hear from the home chefs about their experience using Chef Pin. So that
you should talk to some of these home chefs who have really been able to find an audience and to get discovered. And they've also created a community around it. So now through Chef Pin, so many home chefs are being seen that were never seen before. Like you may never even know, close to your home, how many people are actually offering the service.
Yes, yeah, I got to know a lot of new chefs through Chef Pin.
That's right.
Only talking to you, and thanks for
lovely
spending your
talking
time.
to you too. Thank you for this.
We wish to attend some of these interesting events coming up.
Absolutely. So follow the Chef Pin handle. We are on Instagram and Facebook. And
Chef Pin.
If you follow Chef Pin, you will get to know a lot of the things about what's happening in
yes,
in
and
food.
Who knows, you could be the next chef in the making.
Yeah. If you're a chef, please write in.
Sure. Thank you very much. Pleasure.